Welcome back to Dual Realm Book Review Pod YouTube channel. One day
One day.
I'll quit calling it a podcast. Today we will be discussing The Sorcery of Thorns by Margaret Rogerson. Yep, perfect. It is a young adult fantasy, and with a little romance. I'd say like a romance subplot.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so to get started, we want to break down our review in little sections. So we're going to start by reviewing the characters that Margaret Rogerson created in this book. So Andy, you want to get started for us?
Sure. The main character, Elizabeth, the whole story is kind of her coming of age story, really, is definitely part of the storyline. I like her as a character. She's definitely easy to root for. There's a lot of character development, and she really grows over the course of the story, which I always love. I love character development. I'm pretty sure I've said that a lot.
What about Nathaniel?
Nathaniel, he's kind of a mystery in the beginning, and then especially because of Elizabeth's early kind of prejudice. Prejudice perceptions of him that as you learn more about him, you're like, oh, well, it's not, all those things aren't true. And she learns to right along with you.
Yeah. He kind of reminds me of like the tortured soul.
Yeah. The old soul. The old soul in a young body too.
Yeah. Very just misunderstood. Like kind of not a dark force. I know that's how she sees him in the beginning. But yeah, so they definitely get to know each other and their histories, and they definitely are more complex characters, I think, for a YA fantasy, which I enjoy. I don't think YA has to be super simple like people always want to make it. Overall, I think her characters were very likable, very, like I said, they have depth, maybe a little cliche because she's the innocent one. He's the dark and mysterious and
grumpy.
They go on, grumpy, like Grumpy Sunshine. Yeah. They go on this little adventure to try and solve a mystery together. Which that's very simplified version.
Yes,
but
it is a simplified version. But there's a lot. A lot happens.
Yeah. So I'd say for characters, I'd give her a 4. I think it was they were good characters, like you said, easy to root for.
Easy to root for, easy to really love them. Not overly complicated, but
but enough that they're intriguing. You want to know what they're doing, where they're going. I'd read another book if she made another book about them. So, all right. So world building and the magic system, we'll kind of put those together because, again, this is a YA fantasy. So the world building wasn't super complex, but complex enough, again, to have a story.
And be interesting.
Through it.
The world building is very interesting and complex enough. Like, you're not having to take notes or anything, and you can finish the book quickly and understand everything. But the world is very interesting and different from other books, other YA fantasy books, which is cool. Try not to give away anything, which is hard.
Yeah. Well, I'll talk about the library system that they kind of
which is
started
in the beginning. Yeah.
Yeah. So I thought that was really cool, the way she did the whole library system and her growing up in a library, because we're all avid readers. So libraries are a big place for us. And
who wouldn't want to
these magical books.
Live in a magic library.
Exactly. So I thought that was a really cool world. Very interesting, different way of creating a magic system was through these books. I would say, again, I'd give it a 4. The world building magic system, definitely a 4.
Yeah, I would keep it at that 4.
Yeah. All right, so we'll move on to pacing. How did you like the pacing of this book?
It's not slow. It doesn't take a lot of time to get through it. I'd say that probably, I think it took me 3 days, and I don't read a ton every day.
Yeah.
So
Poor kids will do that to you.
yes.
Yeah, I thought the pacing was good. It's pretty quick. I don't think there's really too many dull or slow points. I think there's always kind of action. There's stuff happening, stuff unfolding. You're always finding out new little secrets and things, history of the characters, or some. Yeah, you're always doing something. There's
some plot point. Everything is got a purpose to why she's revealing. And I love that through the story, you're not finding out like what other characters know before she knows it, before the main character, because it is single point of view. Which I like sometimes because it's kind of cool. You can kind of see something happening and then figuring out why it happened. The back story of it from another character's kind of once you figure it out, once the main character figures it out. I like that. Which she's done pretty good job at in this book. Because it takes her a while to figure out who the bad guy is and like what he's doing.
Or why he's doing it.
Yeah, and why.
All right, yeah, I agree. Pacing was good. Again, very YA fantasy style. So I give the pacing 5 stars because it was quick, no slow points. Everything, like you said, it made sense the way it was done. For prose, it's YA fantasy. It's not overly complicated prose. It's not lyrical. It's not, it's well written. I didn't think it was overly clunky or, poorly done. I thought it was very well written, just nothing fancy.
Yes, not overwrought.
Yeah. Well, some people really like the overly
Yes, and I think in certain styles fanciful. It works. It works in certain styles, but then like trying to tell a story in that style can be difficult.
Yeah.
But this one is not like that. And sometimes with some of them, you have to sit there and reread paragraphs multiple times to understand what they're trying to say. Yeah. And that is not an issue with this book at all.
Not at all.
A great book for a reading slump because it is fast paced and interesting.
Very fast paced. Very interesting. Yeah, I agree. It is a great book for a reading slump. So your overall rating for the book?
I think I gave it 5 stars when I read it.
I did too.
Year.
Yeah.
And in retrospect, I don't think I would change that. Usually because I am more of an emotional reader, I stick with whatever I gave it right at the end of the book.
I gave it 5 stars too. I guess I should have given it 4, but whatever.
The vibes were good. Yeah, the vibes are good. Really good. It felt really good. The emotionalness of the ending, I don't know. I love that part.
Yeah.
When you don't want it to end and you want to just I want to visit this world.
Yeah. I definitely immediately looked for book 2, which there isn't one. There's only a novella. So, and it does at this point does not look like we're getting a book 2. So this is what we got.
Nope, just a standalone. Which it was good.
Yeah, it was very good. And it's nice to have a standalone every now and then. Where you don't read a book and then all of a sudden you're in a 22 book.
Oh yeah, or the 9 book Expanse.
Yeah.
Oh, and that's only counting the main books in the series and not
none of the
novellas.
And its overall rating on Goodreads is a 4 stars, 4.06. sounds like we're right
Right
there
there.
with everybody else on it. Yep.
Mhm.
So, yep, that's all for us this week. Join us next week for our review and discussion on this Woven Kingdom. And yeah.
Like and subscribe, and let us know if you read Sorcery of Thorns, if you liked it, if you enjoyed it, or if you would be interested in reading it.
All right. Have a good one, everybody.